Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Wokey, and I'm back with another fake Grand Order video. Finally found some time when I'm not working to finally record the video that I've been meaning to for a bit, which is talking about the next upcoming event, which is going to be the White Day focused event, which is the boys event, which is Charlemagne, Chivalrous, Montjoie. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. That's going to be today's video. Again, I'm sorry that it's happening. I'm like right on the cusp of it about to be coming out. I like to have a little bit of leeway before it comes out, but I was literally super swamped with work and I just could not find the time. So if I also sound very tired, it's because I just finished working as well. So anyway, let's move on and we'll talk about today's event. So when does this start? Well, thankfully, like I said, it's very soon because we have, we have maintenance notice, which is going to be on the 24th at 20 PST, and then at PST time, it will come back on the 25th, and when it comes back, that is when the new event will start. And so, there's two things here. It's going to be Charlemagne, Chivalrous, Montjoie, which I'm going to go to another wiki site to talk about a little bit more intensely. But the other thing I also want to talk about is the Chaldea Boys Collection 2026, which we'll go over here. So here it is, because this is also tied to it and it has some stuff that's related to it, and it also has some interesting things that I just also want to bring up. So to take a look at it, this is where we'll get like a special voice message from Charlemagne, and a special like login period where he'll talk to us and he'll give us tickets and teapot stars, and then at the end he'll give us a command code. Also related to Chaldea Boys Collection, which is the thing we always get for Chaldea Boys Collection, is the special ticket, which will let us have a CE from the banner that can give us a gold, silver, or bronze drop. That's why these events typically don't have a 3-star CE drop at the beginning of the prologue, because you can just pick one of these CEs to go from there. And then we have a limited time feature also coming up where you can take a bunch of photos of your servants, which I don't know too much about, but if you really care about taking classy pics with your servants, I'm sure you'll enjoy this feature. So the campaign period for all of this is from the 25th to March 17th, and this is where some of the stuff is going to be a little bit weird, because as you can see this giant red box, it says there will be a scheduled maintenance that will overlap with the campaign period. It will not be possible to play the game or summon during the maintenance. Details on the scheduled maintenance will be available at a later date, so they're not talking about that. And that is related to the voice login, so we're going to be getting from Charlemagne. So you will receive rewards from the voice cutscenes featuring Charlemagne. When the cutscene finishes playing, these cutscenes will be available for basically a day. Will be available from the 7th to the 14th. After receiving the rewards, the cutscene will be recorded in an event quest log found in the materials in my room. If the app is closed before the cutscene finishes, you will not receive the reward. The cutscene will play again the next time you log in. You must log in again and finish the cutscene before the next login period in order to receive the rewards. If you do not log in during the login period for a certain message, you will not receive that day's message. In the event, the voice cutscene will be reset each day at PST time. Please note that the schedule will differ from previous campaigns. So the period here starts from the 7th at midnight, basically PST, GMT time, to the 14th. This is when maintenance is happening. I don't know what the maintenance is going to be about, but I'm going to take a quick stab in the dark and say this is where the next ordeal call is going to be happening, which is the thing that they told us about a little bit, which I can go here into the event list and quickly show, which is going to be, actually, let me pause. There you go, much better, which is, yes, here it is. It's going to be this one right here, which is very likely. That's my assumption. Anyway, back to the site. So because of that, you can see that at midnight you can log in, and then you have until day roll of that day of the 7th to get it. I know this is really funky, but this is what it's very hard for me. Basically, I have to make sure to log in sometime between midnight and the next login period, and then at the login period the second one will play, and then from there it will stabilize and you'll get one a day from that point on. But for the first 6 days, it's a ticket and a teapot, and on the final day, it's Knight's Radiant Sword, which is an increase to the engraved crit strength against evil enemies by 25%. The new craft essences, as you can see, will be fully voice acted. They do this for the boys, which is really cool that they do this for them. The date of the edition for this one is the 25th. And then the exchange ticket, as you can see here, these are all the various CEs. I think I'm going to do a video later talking about these. At least I have something planned. But I think the basic thing that you need to know is that the 5 stars give this the gold drop, the silver drops come from the 4 star, and the 3 stars all drop bronze. I think it's the best to not choose a bronze one of the 3 star ones, because you can always use free-to-play currencies to attempt to get those from there. And you should really pick one of the 4 or the 5s. Now, obviously, if you are a smart person, not a smart person, what's the right word for it? A very specific type of person who wants to get a very good, you're given the chance of a free CE, the obvious choice is to pick the most rarest one and go for the 5 star. I've always been a proponent of pick the one that has your favorite boys and kind of go for it. Thankfully for me this year, that's Tez. And Tez is a 5 star because this is a well-loved boy over in Japan. So that's the one I'm picking, but for the other ones, you can choose from them. And like I said, I might have a video that's not really talking about the strength of them. I don't really think the how good they are really factors into very many decisions. It's really more, I kind of want to have a better time grinding, or I really love the boy on it. But yeah, choose your boy wisely. I can't actually wait to hear the voice recording from this one. That would sound sick. But anyway, the exchange period for the ticket is the 25th until the 24th of March, as you can see here. And then I guess the only thing that you need to really know about it is about the exchange. You get it as a reward in your present box after your first login. After claiming it in your present box, tap the event shop at the top right, go to the exchange event items, and then one of the 9. So you can't get more than one of them. It's only one of the 9. After you exchange the Chaldea Boys Collection special exchange ticket, the craft essence you selected will be sent to your present box and the ticket will disappear. And also the special ticket will disappear. So I would say try and use it right away. And then this is the snapshot feature, which is going to be in my room. You can just take pictures of your servants here. So you can pick a servant photo, pick a servant and master photo, and then you can snap away. Pretty simple. There's even schedules for background changes as well. If you want to fit a specific mood, again, if you're the kind of person that enjoys this, then this is right up your fucking alley. Then I would say enjoy that. Items will also be added to exchange where prisons in the Da Vinci shop. New items have been added. Those are going to be special exchange menu will be added to the Da Vinci workshop. After you exchange for this item, you will also receive 1 Chaldea Boys Collection 2025 shareholders benefits tickets. Exchange this item to choose any and obtain 1 craft essence that appears on the Chaldea Boys Collection from 2025. This will be added on this specific day, and then you can exchange for it. You can get 3 rare mana prisms to exchange one of these, and then you get the selection once again. And again, like I said previously, pick your favorite boy, pick whatever boy you want, and then kind of go from there. And then a couple of the Boys Collection 2025 command codes are also added to exchange rare mana prisms. You can put 2 of them to get the electromagnetic shamisen. And then also a limited time event featuring Charlemagne, which we will talk about now, and we will switch over to the other side because it's easier to talk about him over there. So 3, 2, 1. All right, and here we are with the Charlemagne's event that we can see right here. So the event duration, obviously this was on Japan, but we have the dates here. It will start on the 25th and it will go February, and it will end on March 17th. The only thing you need to do to actually participate in the event itself is clear Wokey. And there isn't really much to the event as far as like, do you need to do anything super crazy spectacular? No, the main quests unlock once a day. Basically, Prologue and Act 1 are the first 2 things unlocked, and then you kind of keep going, and the last 2 things to be unlocked are Epilogue and Act 7, which should be here by March 2nd, I believe. And yeah, simple enough. And you'll get a total of 7 Sync Quartz and a Holy Grail and an Event CE in the epilogue. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Event CE because it's kind of interesting in that kind of way. This is the event schedule, but obviously that doesn't apply to us. We're also going to be getting the special Newsy outfit, which apparently is called the Disguise Costume. I call him this because he reminds me of the hit Disney film Newsies. I'm pretty sure, featuring Christian Bale. That's why I keep calling him that. That's what he reminds me of. And then some other event stuff is obviously the event bonuses, which you can see right here. So for the big kahuna that gets 100% attack and 50% bond, that goes to Charlemagne. For 50% attack, 30% bond, that will go to Roland, Don Quixote, Astolfo, and Thomas Edison. For 50% attack but 0 bond, Bradamante and Yangafoy. And then no damage bonus and 20% bond. That will go to Kama, Summer Kama, all other men units, and unknown gender servants. Those are the ones that are going to get 20% bond. And if you're wondering why Kama is on here, it's because Kama can actually switch to a man. There is a male sprite that exists for Summer Kama, and I think the assassin one that you could meet on Valentine's Day, I'm pretty sure, in the Valentine's Day event. If you didn't know, well then now you know. That's why they fit on there. Game updates. Charlemagne will be getting his buff, which I'll talk a little bit more when I talk about Charlemagne, because he is the main feature here. And then Bradamante is also getting a buff to her Noble Phantasm, which will increase her NP damage for 1 turn, increase crit status for 3 times. This is the new effect. I guess this already kind of happened. I guess increase own NP damage always happens when you upgrade the rank of a Noble Phantasm, now that I think about it. Deals damage to all enemies. Again, I'm tired. Forgive me. Chance to stun them for 1 turn, and then reduce their critical attack chance for 3 turns is the effect of the Noble Phantasm. And I'll take any Bradamante buffs because I'm a big fan of Bradamante, because she's of course Quetz's tag team partner, so I'll gladly accept them. And then we have the event shop, which we'll see right here. Forgive me for coughing. So this is the event CE that I want to talk about before I go into a little bit more on the event shop. You'll see here that it has an effect, which is its normal effect is gain 10 crit stars for 1 time when entering the field, increases quick performance by 8%, and then the max limit break is gain 12 crit stars for 1 time when entering the field, and it increased quick performance by 10%, and then nothing else as far as this site has logged in, and usually they log in and tell you if one had an event bonus during a CE thing, so I have to assume there isn't one. Nothing that would be like a damage increase of some kind. So it is really weird that you get this you get 1 copy here, and then the other 4 copies come from the event shop, and then you don't get any of them from the grinding of events for free quests. It's really weird, but yeah, there you go. That's how they handled the event CE for this one. There's also not a 50% to Noble Phantasm either when max limit broken. It's a very weird way of doing the CE stuff, but all right, let's go into it. So the event shop, there are 3 materials we have is the Macron of Philanthropy, the Jelly of Conviction, and the Candy of Valor, which all sounds delicious. But the gold material is the Macron of Philanthropy, the silver material is the Jelly of Conviction, and the Candy of Valor is bronze. To get everything in the Macron of Philanthropy side of the shop, you'll need 5,200 of the Macarons. And inside of it is the Charlemagne costume, and 2 event CEs, 1 lore, 2 golden foe for HP and attack, 40 stacks of 10 evocation leaves, 10 comet shards, 10 dragon scales, 20 warhorses horns, 20 divine leyline spiritrons, 30 obsidian edges, 20 gold statues for saber, lancer, caster, and berserker. And then at the end of it, once you have everything, you can trade 2 of the macarons for 10k QP, and that's of course after you've finished getting absolutely everything, just to reiterate again. Next we'll move on to the Jelly of Conviction. This is such a good name for a jelly. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm tired from work and my brain is fried, but the Jelly of Conviction feels me. That's like some Undertale item that you would eat, and you would get some HP back and then get filled with determination at the same time. But anyway, Jelly of Conviction, silver drop. For everything in this shop, you'll need 4,350. And inside of it is 1 event CE, 1 lore, 1 golden foe for attack, 30 stacks of 10 evocation leaves, which gives you a grand total of 300 by the end of it, 20 snake jewels, 20 infinity gears, 20 giant's rings, 30 void dust, 20 twilight ceremonial blades, 20 silver statues for saber, lancer, caster, and berserker. And then you can, once you finish everything in the silver drops, you can start trading them 10 for 1 to the macarons, which feels like a bad trade if you are, how much do I like jelly? Do I like jelly more than I like macaron? I'm a big fan of jelly. 10 jelly is a lot for a single macaron. Anyway, feel free to let me know if you would trade in I guess this is even crazy. I don't think I would trade 10 candies for 1 jelly, but I also don't think I would trade 10 jellies for a single macaron. And macarons are delicious. And don't get me wrong here. I need to continue on. I'm going to get lost in this conversation. Anyway, Candy of Valor. This also sounds like an Undertale item to me. Bronze material. To get everything in this shop, you'll need 4,700. And inside of it is 1 of NCE, 1 lore, 1 golden info for HP, 30 stacks of 10 evocation leaves for a grand total of 300 of them, 20 silver foe for HP and attack, 105, no, not 100, 55 EXP, 104 EXP, 103 EXP, 20 crowns of radiant silver, 20 scales of fantasy, 20 horseshoes, 30 heroes proofs, and again the exchange rate for 10 of these candies goes into 1 single jelly of conviction. And that's the event shop itself. The main quest, as you can see right here, the prologue has the thing I mentioned right here. I won't go all the way to the bottom in case you don't want to get spoiled on what the final fight on the epilogue is, but not the epilogue, the final fight of Act 7. But at the epilogue, you'll also get the last of the craft essence that you need to get fully max limit broken. And then on the free quests themselves, it's pretty straightforward. As you kind of like complete more of the sections, you'll unlock more of them, which this would be Act 2, this would be Act 3, this would be Act 4, this would be Act 5, this would be Act 6, and then finally Act 7 and Epilogue I'll unlock it the same day. So when you clear the Epilogue, you'll gain access to the Grand Hall and the Opera House. For these other ones, if you're one of the newer players, you can use this to kind of do focus drops on bronze, silver, and gold materials. It's also good to do them just because they also do give you apples, so make sure you're always doing them, even if you are someone who's like, I only really need to do the big ones nowadays. You should know this, obviously, that the golden apples are worth their weight in literal gold, so make sure to get every single one of them that you can, in case you needed some reiteration on that. So for the big final 2 here, the Grand Hall and the Opera House, the way this breaks down is that the Grand Hall has a fight that features the berserkers and archers in it. So if you were looking to use sabers, it's probably not for the best, but that's okay because the Opera House will have you covered on that. But if you were looking to plan to grind this one, the materials you would get are all the basic shop materials, which are the macarons, the jelly, the candies, along with the demonic flame, Hozuki, night metals, and gold and red archer gems, along with gold archer statues. And then for the Opera House, like I mentioned, you're going to be fighting Lancers. So this is where you would like to use your sabers if possible, such as your brand new saber that you potentially got from Charlemagne, or you just have happy to get your Charlemagne buff and you're ready to use them, which is what I'm looking forward to this one. It has all Lancers. The best location, this is without a doubt the best location to farm if you're able to do it. The Cursed Beast, the things that drops are of course the event material drops, the Cursed Beast Troll Assist, the Vestige of Madness, all 3 Lancer gems, so that means blue, red, and gold. For some reason there's no blue on the other one, but I guess this is the benefit for getting it for the best one. That, or they left something off, which is always possible on the wiki sometimes. And then finally, gold Lancer statue as well. Yeah, funny enough, yeah, gold Lancer, because you're fighting Lancers. So like I said, this is the best one in the farm if you're able to do it. If you're not able to do this one, you can try and do Grand Hall, which obviously still has pretty big HP. Even I think it should still be possible if you're a decent enough account. But obviously this having a boss that has like 200,000 HP or so here, 230 as you can see right there. It can be a little bit tough, especially if we're not getting any kind of damage bonus from a C of some kind, and you're using, unless you have the Black Rail and stuff like that. But if you're someone who's also just like, Wokey, I'm fighting for my life on any of these, then you can always just go here and try and farm the ones that you can here. You can either do a full breakdown to try and get the best materials, like this one will drop pretty effective amount of macarons. If you just want to focus in on one of them and kind of go do it that way, if that's the way to do it, then that's the way you have to grind. You just have to make sure to find what is most comfortable for your account. For mine, I think pretty simple for me. I have Charlemagne, I have Black Rails, I can do this one pretty effectively, I think. I'll just have to think about what kind of team do I want to do. Obviously Charlemagne can handle the second one pretty easily, but he is an AoE, so I wonder if I want to try and use a different kind of saber for the single target ones. I'll think about it. And who's the opera? Please leave it to me. Who is the boss of this one? Oh, it's Elizabeth. So anyone that can really fight against dragons would be pretty effective. Okay, I'll have to think about it. Feel free to let me know what kind of teams you're planning to use. That's always interesting for me to read because I get to see how other people kind of plan their stuff. And then the challenge quest will unlock after you clear Solomon. I won't go too much into the fight, just simply because some people like to go into them blind. And also, I'm not probably the best to go to if you've ever seen me try one of these challenge quests, which I swear to God, one of these days, we're going to find the time for it. This time I got screwed over because of work being so busy that we could not find the time to sit down, but that's happened to a decent amount of my videos at this point. And finally, we get to the summoning campaigns. So the breakdown of the summoning campaigns goes as the following. For this video, I'm only really going to talk about Charlemagne and Don Quixote, but they're not the only ones on the servant rate up, and by God, there is a metric fuck ton of so many of them. It is Quixote, it's Tesla, it's Li Shuen Old Man Assassin, Bima, Zhuangju, Napoleon, Achilles, Karna, Vlad III, Enkidu, Minamoto no Tamatoma. That's not Minamoto no Tametomo? Something like that. Ozymandias, Arjuna, Archer, the one that has the monkey sea costume dress, is how I like to address him. Taigong Wang, Nemo, and Daisuke. With the breakdown of this being after, I think, 4 days, is the Quixote banner will start, and then the day after that will be Tesla, and then the day after that it's going to be the following ones. It's going to be Li Shuen, then it's Bima, then it's Zhangju and Napoleon actually on the same day after Bima, and then on the same day, the next day is going to be Achilles and Karna, and then the same day after that it's going to be Vlad and Enkidu, Tamatoma and Ozymandias, and then the day after that is Arjuna and Taigong Wang, and then finally the last two are going to be Nemo and Daisuke. That's going to be the rate up schedule. They will all come with the limited craft essences that you see above that I talked about beforehand, which is BRD, Capricus, being in the same boat, Etiquette of Thaumaturgy, Chaldean Detectives, Greedy Dice, Crystal of Wisdom, Smooth Sailing, and Day Off Master. And these will carry over to all of these banners. That's not it for banners. There's even more. And then there's a second summoning campaign, and this one features a Stealthful Saber and Roland, along with all the CEs I mentioned previously right there. Summoning campaign 3, which features all the old dudes coming back. So that's Takatsuji, Arjuna Alter, Odysseus, Waver, Boy Arthur. I was gonna call him Boy Saber, but Arthur, Amakasu Shiro, James Moriarty, and then Dantes, with Takatsuji being first. And 2 days later, it's Prototype. And then 2 days after that, it's Arjuna Alter. Then 2 days after that, it's Amakasa. And then 2 days after that, it's Odysseus. 2 days after that, it's going to be James Moriarty. And then 2 days after that, it's Waver. 2 days after that is Dantes, and believe it or not, the CEs are different on all of them. For 2023, it's a 2023 CEs, which are three in the black, Eternal Roma, Proof of Rebuttal, Professor's Lunchtime, Brilliant Springtime, For Your Letters, all the way bang, Weathered with an Interesting Evening Discussion, Illuminating the Veil of Darkness. Over for Chaldea Boys Collection 22, it's Arjuna Alter featuring One Night's Dream, Water Gun Battle, Detective Edmund, The Final Case, Buddy Cop, Chance Meeting Under the Moon, Chaldean Express, Ultimate Harmony, Chaldean Delinquent Gang, and Power Shot. Over for Chaldea Boys Collection 2021, it's Flower and Cafe, Club Argonauts, Detective Edmund, The Resurrected Nightmare Arc, The Round of Ice, The Night of Parade of 100 Demons, Chaldean 11, Supreme Academy, Splat Gun, Infinity Dream, and the Chaldea Boys Collection 2020. It is Royal Traveling Incognito, Blue Illusion, Exclusive Tailor, Detective Edmund, and Breaking of a New Chapter Arc, My Student Council, Superb Turbulent Times, God's Deal, Daddy's Letters Live, Buzzer Beater. I didn't show Buzzer Beater. Chaldea Boys Collection 2019 is, like I said, Moriarty with Detective Edmund, the True Mastermind arc, The Dance with Rounds, The Foresight and Profoundness, Riot of Cherry Blossoms, Mentor and I, Trojan Bar, Under the Knife, Angel Breath, and Masquerade of the Vampire. Over here in Chaldea Boys Collection 2018, it is Star of Camelot, it's Detective Edmund, the Foreign Nation Infiltration arc, the Gateau au Chocolat, the Sun and the Gold Gamblers, Chaldean Special Investigations Unit, Welcome Diner, or Welcome Dinner? No, it's Welcome Diner. The Musketeers, You, After the Rain. And then finally, no, not finally, Chaldea Boys Collection 2017. I've committed to the bit too much. I have to keep going. Dantes, which is featured with Talk of the Hot Sands, Detective Edmund, The Spring Equinox Travelogue, As You Wish, Cafe Camelot, Outrage, Operation Fiona, Quatrephelios, Neverland, and La Siesta. And then finally for Chaldea Boys Collection 2016 with waiver, Kiss Your Hand, Teacher and I versus Four Beasts in the Moonlight, Glass Full Sweet Time, Noisy Obsession, Salon de Marie, and Prince of Slayer. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm only going to be talking about Charlemagne and Don Quixote. Should you summon on this? Honestly, after Richard show up, should you summon on any of these? I don't know the answer. The answer is, if it's in your heart to summon, go for it. If you've been planning for it, go ahead. If it's your favorite, go ahead. But if you're someone who's like, Wokey, should I summon on any of these? Hold on to your shit, because we're literally going to be going into March that features a big fucking collab event. The easiest thing I could say after mentioning every single breakdown of every single one of these damn things is you likely should not summon, so don't do it. But anyway, I'm still going to go over Charlemagne and Don Quixote because I do. And also, if you want, I promised to do a big video because there were some people who wanted to hear the full long-ass video of me talking about all those things. I'm gonna try my best. I'm not gonna promise anything, but I did remember that not that I forgot, I ran out of time and I was very busy, and then Richard showed out of nowhere and kind of ruined all my plans. So it didn't feel right to do a big ol' over an hour long video breaking down every single unit when Richard showed up out of nowhere and kind of like surprised everyone. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about Charlemagne and Don Quixote, and I'm gonna start with Don Quixote because these are gonna be the main ones, gonna be up on the banner on day of release. And I love Don Quixote, even though he's a Lancer. But hopefully we should not make this too long. I think I spent a lot of time just breaking down all the fucking CEs on everything. But anyway, Don Quixote, he is a story lock servant. He is a Lancer, and he's a hell of a man. We have 2 quick, 1 arts, 2 buster, 5 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 2 hits on buster, 5 hits on extra. His first skill is the Great Adventure of the Traveling Knight EX, increases on quick performance for 3 turns, increases on buster performance for 3 turns, grants self the gut status for 1 time 3 turns, 20% to quick, 20% to buster, and revive with 2000 HP. This is on a cooldown of 6. His second skill is the Opening of the Door of Fantasy EX, increases own attack for 3 turns, charges on MP gauge every turn for 3 turns, gain critical stars every turn for 3 turns, 20% to attack, 10% to MP regen, and 10 to star regen on a cooldown of 6. His third skill, which is after an interlude upgrade, is not here yet. It is Closing of the Curtain of Reality E. Can only be used when own NP gauge is 30% or higher. 500% chance to reduce own NP gauge to 0%. This is a demerit. Charges party's NP gauge except for self, and then gain crit stars. To the party, you get 30%. The stars is 20, and the cooldown is 5. It turns into EX after the interlude, and the effect changes to be completely different. Now it can only be used when your own NP gauge is 30% or higher. Increase own damage against the super large enemy for 3 turns. Charges a party's NP gauge except for self, and then gain crit stars. Much better. 30% to versus super large damage, 30% to the team, and 30 crit stars on a cooldown of 5. His passive skills are Magic Resistance E, Riding E, Traveling Attendant B, which is the increase own instant kill resistance by 20%. His third skill is the Anti-Rider Attack Damage Aptitude, and his Noble Phantasm is the Valiente Asalto Dedicado a la Princesa. Ah, my dear princess, I shall dedicate my spear to you. Rank D++, anti-giant, hits 5 times, it's quick. deals damage to one enemy, deals 150% extra damage against giant enemies, 500% chance to deal 1000 damage to yourself, and then increase party's attack by 20% for 3 turns. At MP level 1, it's 1200, and if you get him all the way to MP level 5, it's 2000. His overcharge effect is an increase to own party's critical damage for 3 turns. At charge level 1, it's 20%, and if you get him all the way to the final charge level, it's 60%. And his bond CE, when you get him to bond 10, is the lovely princess and the faithful knight. When equipped to Don Quixote, increases party's damage against giant enemies by 20% while self is on the field. And that is the knight errant himself. That is Don Quixote. How is he? So currently on our side of the game, he's obviously not anything very good, because this third skill is very bad. It is not good. It is not a good skill. I love Don Quixote as a character, and I love my dude here. I really do wish... I can't wait until this interlude comes out and it makes him a little bit more playable and a little bit more anti-super large, because obviously you want to be fighting giants. That's what Don Quixote does. But unfortunately, his third skill is a skill that says you should just never NP, old man. Give up the dream, which sucks. So that's very unfortunate. And the other unfortunate thing is that he is story locked. So if you're a big lover of Don Quixote like me, it's very hard to give him additional NP copies, which you would really want with a unit like this. And this is also true if you're looking to make Don Quixote your grand. You're gonna need to summon on banners like this wherever he's featured for that specific reason, just because it's very hard to get story lock servant medals. And yeah, that's kind of the easy breakdown of Don Quixote. I think for most people it's kind of an easy skip. It's just kind of unit that exists. But that's like looking at him stat wise. In terms of the actual unit itself, I think this is like one of my favorite units in FGO. The reason is that the design of him is just so good. The way he fights and the way that he kind of levels up his stages, because as you can see here he is in the full golden armor, and then as you ascend him, you kind of start to snap back to reality as to what he actually is in the story of Don Quixote and stuff like that, which is a man who is obviously pretending to be a knight errant. He's kind of lost his mind, and there's people that are such as Sancho who are feeding into his delusions, but there is a specificness to the dreams that he carries and stuff like that that make people want to still love him, even though they know he is a fool, a crazy fool. And the way that his Noble Phantasm goes, I think is really beautiful. Actually, the way that it ends is very, very cute. Even though this third skill literally completely shuts him off, I think it's actually kind of neat to design him in such a way of thinking of how does the character of Don Quixote, which is the idea of like the dream himself of what he is, goes away. He's not actually able to fight giants because he's never been able to fight giants, and he actually, through this and realization and stuff like that, he's actually able to inspire others and give them the NP gauge and give them crit stars to be able to do things that he can't do, which I feel in the story of Don Quixote, even though it is a very kind of like dark look into it, I do think it is an inspiring story of following one's dreams and the cost of following the dreams, and whether or not a dream is worth following even though you live in a world that is filled with pure darkness and nothing but evil surrounding you. And for that reason alone, I think it's worth having Don Quixote. Whether or not you agree with me, it's understandable, because there's subjective feelings to that, and I feel like I'm probably not doing my best because explaining why I love him so much, because it's so late at night. But I just wanted to give you a different perspective as to why, even though I say when I look at his kit, I say he's not anything I think too special, but I feel like that's kind of just Don Quixote itself, and I love him for that. And that's Don Quixote. So again, I think probably not for most people, but for people like me, I love Don Quixote. I wish actually that I did not have Charlemagne so I could justify going for Don Quixote, but I have to look for a banner that features him better and has a unit that is a 5-star that I wouldn't mind having as I go for more copies of Don Quixote, because I don't need more copies than the one I have for Charlemagne. But anyway, let's move on to Charlemagne himself, or also known as Charles the Great, or just Charlie, as I call him. He is a limited servant. He's a saber. He has 2 quicks. He has 2 arts. He has 1 buster, 4 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 5 hits on buster, 5 hits on extra. His active skills are traveling of the path of the king C+. This is after a strengthening, so this is the version that we will have after that. Grants one ally invincibility for 2 attacks, 3 turns. Grants self a buff on attack buff for 5 turns. Grants self the heroic king buff for 5 turns when critical attacking if self does not have invincibility. Increase own NP generation rate for 5 turns. Grants self a buff on defense buff for 5 turns. Grants self the heroic king buff for 5 turns when taking attack if self has invincibility. And then 500% chance to seal own NP for 1 turn to merit. And then gain some crit stars. The NP rate is 20% and the star gained are 15, and this is on a cooldown of 6. And if you want to know how it looked like beforehand, it was just kind of this. It just gave NP rate and not much else. And now at least you're able to have a grant self buff on attack buff when doing when you are hitting for critical damage and stuff. Second skill, the Emperor of Paladins EX, increases party's attack for 3 turns, increases own damage against demonic enemies for 3 turns, increases own defense against divinity enemies for 3 turns, and then charges own NP gauge, 20% to attack, 30% to versus demonic, 30% versus the divinity, 30% to NP, and this is on a cooldown of 6. His third skill is the Mana Burst Light A. Increases on quick performance for 3 turns, increases on critical damage for 3 turns, increases on critical damage against evil alignment enemies for 3 turns, 30% to quick, 30% to crit damage, 50% to evil crit damage on the cooldown of 5. His passive skills are Magic Resistance A and Writing A. His third skill is Anti-Berserker Attack Damage Aptitude, and his Noble Phantasm is the Jos Order, the Exemplify, the King's Heroics, O12's Traveling Swords, Rank EX, Anti-King, Self. Hits 12 times, it's quick, it deals damage to all enemies, and then deals 100% plus 10 and extra damage to enemies, which is own Heroic King stacks, max 12 stacks. At MP level 1, it's 600%. If you get them all the way to MP level 5, it's 1000. It reduces all enemies' quick performance resistance for 3 turns. At charge level 1, it's 20%. If you get them all the way to the final charge level, it's 40%. Like I said, his disguise outfit is him cosplaying as someone from the from Newsies. That's not real. That's just something I've imagined. And his bond CE is the King's Blade, a hero's blade. When equipped to Charlemagne, increases the party's damage against demonic enemies by 15%, and then increases the party's damage against enemies with the evil alignment by 50% while he is on the field. And that is Charlemagne. So, how is Charlemagne? I like Charlie. I really do. I think in terms of, I've mainly used him for AoE purposes, for looping and stuff, and I've always been kind of satisfied with what he can do. I think he's able to get back just enough, even at MP level 1. Obviously in some of the bigger hitting things, because he doesn't really have a super anti anything else thing. Like he's anti demonic and divine, kind of. Like 30% is to damage is nice, but the defense doesn't really help you with looping. But obviously this is more stuff for like, including the crit damage, which again doesn't help with looping. This is all stuff for when he's actually fighting something in a challenge quest type fight, which is pretty neat that he has like 2 capabilities of doing it. So I think he's perfectly fine for quick. In terms of quick units, he's not the one I suffer with the most when it comes to quick, so I consider that pretty good. Obviously, most people don't really like quick units because, like, obviously the way I'm describing them, they're a little bit harder to work with compared to Buster and Arts, but I still like a decent enough of them that I'm willing to put up with that and that kind of stuff. Now, this new buff is really nice because it does let you have more ways of getting Heroic King buffs, which are going to directly buff your Noble Phantasm here, which is very nice because that will help grant you more attack up. And I do like that it's kind of focused in around, I've always thought that it was a very interesting design of like, you don't get these buff if you have invincibility, so it's something that you can't actively give them to yourself. And then obviously the biggest demerit has always been if you have invincibility to yourself, you seal your MP for 1 turn as a demerit. But thankfully, as long as you make sure, they really don't want you to use this on him. They really want you to make sure, because this obviously would kill you instantly if you tried to loop with it. Make sure to never equip it to him, buddy, enough when you're using it. I always thought that was a very interesting style of design, and I continue to think that it's pretty interesting on that front. But yeah, that's Charlemagne. I think he's pretty straightforward as far as things go. Whether or not he seems like a unit for you is probably all dependent on whether or not you have Quick built up, and if you like Charlemagne in kind of any kind of capacity, which I think he's a very neat and cool character. I think he comes from another game that I did not play, but I really did like him in the story when he showed up, and I can't wait to see more of the event itself featuring him. I thought he was pretty cool. But anyway, that's finally the end of this video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Again, sorry that it had to be released, and also that it's releasing with me sounding as dead tired as I do. It's been a hell of a time. On Sunday, I completely once I was finally finished with work and I got the okay at like 6 a.m. that, okay, everything's fine, you can go to bed. I knocked out and woke up for a decent bit here. I was like, oh god, finally. Because when I saw the news that Charlemagne was coming in, I said, oh god. Yeah, that's right. I was really hoping that they would at least make it last like a single more day, but obviously they didn't decide it that way. So I had an extremely busy Sunday. If you think I sound tired now, I would have sounded dead on Sunday because of how much work I had to do. And then also I did wake up early to go join up and do a HoloLive, play some of the HoloLive card game as well. So it was a fun day at the beginning, and then it became a very stressful day as I went to work right afterwards after doing that and stuff like that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to let me know anything if you're excited for this, if you want to hear anything else, and I will try and get that video of me talking about a whole bunch of people. I always appreciate that there's apparently a decent amount of people that like hearing me talk, even though a lot of the time I feel like I get off track very easy. But anyway, as you can see here by me trying to end the damn video and I just keep not doing it. But that's it for now, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next video. I wish you the best of luck if you do end up summoning, even though I don't think you really should. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be. All right, till next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.